Hi guys, it's Alpha Omega occasionally, and on this occasion, we're discussing another fairly important topic. Today we're talking about how Thai people accept foreigners, or if you're accepted into Thai society. And it's not really as simple as do they accept you or do they not. There's a lot of provisos and there's a lot of detail in terms of describing my experience of whether or not I feel accepted as part of Thai society. To say that Thai people are friendly and cordial and tolerant of foreigners is an understatement. Harry, get away from that now! That's asbestos! Because the Thais are so open, so friendly, and so tolerant of foreigners, it's apparent. I mean, how many YouTubers do you watch, or how much content of these? Harry is there. Harry, please stop doing that, please. How many YouTubers do you watch? Do you watch the content of these YouTubers? How many YouTubers do you watch who are based in Thailand that display the wonders of this country and the sheer friendliness of the people on a daily basis? But you see, you'll wonder, because if a Thai person goes to Europe, or a Chinese person, or a Malaysian, or whoever it may be, they might find themselves less welcome. And we all know what we're talking about. But you see, the reasons are not that apparent. But I'm telling you now, the reason I'm welcome in Thailand is because I'm not integrated into Thai culture, and nor can I be. Because as a foreigner, you're on the periphery of society. You're always the Farang. And this is not a criticism. This is why Thais are friendly and tolerant of foreigners. Because we're not here to take their jobs. That's a fact. Thailand is a xenophobic country, and that's not a negative statement. It's just a fact. It's just the way it is. How many, let's say, now I'm saying this with all respect, how many Nigerian or Polish or Irish or Swedish taxi drivers do you see driving taxis in Bangkok? And now I could ask the same question of how many of the aforementioned do you see driving taxis in Dublin or in London or in Paris or New York? Of course, Western culture is multicultural. And Western society has integration that Thai society has never had and does not have. So therefore, every taxi driver in Bangkok is Thai. Every bank manager in Thailand is Thai. I could go on and on and on. So therefore, us guys come over here and we're not seen as a threat. We're not seen as overstaying our welcome, because we all have to pay to stay here. You're not going to be doing a job that's going to take away the opportunity of a Thai person of doing the same job, because it's not allowed. That's xenophobia. That's the way it works. If you go to Japan, I've never been to Japan, but I know it's the same thing. I mean, come on, I've never been to Tokyo, but I dare say, see, I talk about taxi drivers because it's like it's a very good base to judge a society on. I mean, I'll give you an example about this. When I first came to Bangkok, I noticed that all the taxis, bar one or two, but 99.99% of the taxis in Bangkok at the time were Toyota Corollas. So therefore, I decided to buy a Toyota, because Toyotas must be reliable and the parts must be easily obtained and cheap, because taxi drivers drive Toyota Corollas. That's the way it is. So, but look, Harry, please stop doing that. I'm trying to do a video. Please stop doing that, Harry. That's Mommy's car. Stop doing it now. So, it's easy to judge by looking at the jobs that the masses do, like taxi driving. So all the taxi drivers are Thai. So therefore I say to myself, well, if all the taxi drivers are Thai, what's the opportunity for me to have a job here? All the people who work at McDonald's are Thai. So and by the way, I know I'm going to get criticised here or corrected here, the ASEAN countries, but ASEAN is not the same as the EU. It's an economic community, let's say, but it doesn't function in the same way as the European Union. Yes, there are people from Myanmar working here. There are people from other ASEAN countries working here, but it's not the same as the European Union or the United States or Australia or New Zealand or Canada. There's no real integration. You will never be part of Thai culture. You won't. You're always going to be the Farang on the periphery, and that's why we're accepted. That's why we're made to feel so welcome, because it's like we're always the eternal guest. That's what it is. You're the eternal guest that doesn't overstay his or her welcome because you're not depending on Thai culture for your survival. You have to contribute. You're not receptive. You don't receive anything. I mean, is there anyone watching this video that is not a naturalised Thai citizen? And by the way, to become a naturalised Thai citizen is a very, very, very difficult process. But having said that, how many of you have ever got anything from the, let's say, administrative part of Thai culture? You don't, and you don't expect it, but you have to contribute. So because we contribute, we're made to feel welcome. And how many times have you, and I've done it myself, how many times have you felt agitated when you're driving along the streets of Dublin, let's say, and an individual from a different culture cuts you off when they're driving or whatever? You feel this extra little bit of anger because, hang on, this is my country and he's doing that. But you see, here it's a lot less as if non-existent. You are very, very welcome. The Thais are very accommodating and you'll have a wonderful time here. But remember, you're always going to be on the periphery. You're always going to be the Farang, but there's no articles in Thai, so you'll just be Farang. And I tell you, that annoys me. It really does. Because when you don't use the article in English, it sounds a bit abrasive. So it doesn't sound polite. So when I hear Thais speaking in Thai and they say, Farang ma, that sounds very rude to me. But that's just me, because that's the way my ear is trained. But having said that, you're always going to be the Farang. And that's it. You're going to have a happy life, but remember, you're not going to be integrated into Thai society. You're always going to be on the outside. I can tell you for sure, everything is great until it's not. If you ever have an accident here, a road accident, I've had a road accident here where I got involved in basically I was turning right. We drive on the left side of the road here. So I was turning right, crossing the oncoming car into a T-junction, and a girl on a motorcycle decided it would be a good time to overtake. You don't overtake at a junction. She did. I clipped her, or she clipped me, and the minute I got out of the car, like, she careered off her motorcycle. She was okay, but she careered off her motorcycle. Okay, Harry, it's in there. Just give me a minute. And as soon as I stepped out of the car, fingers were pointed, and it was Farang. I just heard the word repeatedly. Farang, 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 Farang. Farang, my size, Faisam. Faisam is the orange light, the indicator, or as in America you call it, a turn signal. But they were trying to make out that I didn't put on my turn signal or my indicator. But my argument was she was overtaking me at a junction as I was turning left into the line of oncoming traffic, and she decided it'd be a good time to overtake. But anyway, that's a different thing completely. But that's when you realise that you're on the periphery. That's when you realise you're an outsider. Don't cross the line. That's what I'll say. Don't cross the line. If you cross the line, you'll realise that you're so much out there. You stand out like a sore thumb, and you realise how much of an outsider you are. But you might as well revel and relish the time in Thailand because you are an outsider, because they don't see you as a threat, and they're going to be as friendly as hell to you because there's no fear. There's no fear of their culture being infiltrated by the likes of us. But if you look at our culture in the West, infiltration is a very strong word, but I'll tell you something. Now, this is not a criticism. This is just a fact. I was talking with a friend of mine in Milan on Skype about. I've been talking with him a lot over the last few years, and I used to hear the bells of the local cathedral ringing in the distance. And one day when I spoke with him, I heard the calls of. I'm not going to mention. I don't want to insult people, but the call to prayer of the Islamic religion. And I said, Milan? And he said, that's the way it is. So our culture is changing in the West. And we have become used to, and we have become multicultural. So the we doesn't exist anymore because the we includes everybody. But here, the we just includes Thai. And that's all it is. So there you go. I'm happy to be here. I'm not happy that I'm on the periphery, but I'm happy that I'm seen as a welcome guest rather than what would be sometimes considered a parasite. But I won't go into, well, when I say parasite, it means that some people travel to the EU to benefit from the social welfare system. That can't happen here because it's not available. So there you go. So if you want to have a happy life in Thailand, you can resign yourself to the fact that everyone's going to welcome you and you're going to be made feel very welcome because you will be the eternal guest. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and make sure if you have, you click that notifications bell, click the like button, click the share button, click the subscribe button, do all those wonderful things, and I'll bring you back another one. And I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.